All right, and we're live. Thank you for stopping by Indie Dave Comics. I, of course, am your host, Indie Dave Comics, and the writer of Oddity. And we have with us two guys going to pitch their projects tonight. We've got Vic King.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, pretty good. And we got Matt. How's it going, Matt?
All right.
All right. So, all righty. So let's see. We'll start with Vic. Tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your project.
All right. About a year ago, I was finally convinced to just pop onto Twitter. And, I just started following some artists, and I came across Comicsgate and Comicsgate artists, and I just started doing some fan art and stuff, just to get back into it. It used to be a dream of mine when I was young, to be a comic book artist. And then I started getting some favorable response. And then one day, Aaron Calamari contacted me and said, got a comic book I'd like you to draw, and it was about 7-8 months ago. And it's been that long to put it together, but we've got it all pretty much nailed down. And so here I am now with a project live on Indiegogo called Extractors. Now what Extractors is, it's like an 80s style type space adventure. We kind of liken it to the A-Team meets Ripley. That kind of team dynamic of the A-Team. The essential base of the story is this crew of. So man goes out into space. That's how it starts. Man goes out into space and starts interacting with different alien races and stuff. Space is very dangerous because not everybody likes humans, and not all and humans aren't as strong as most aliens. So insurance companies start making a fortune insuring people's travels into space. And instead of like a claims adjuster like you'd have for your car here on Earth in modern times, the claims adjusters are these mercenary units called extractor units. And they go out and they pull you out of whatever dangerous situation you're in.
Well, it's like they have with the some of the oil companies have, where if they're doing like oil in a country that's got terrorists or kidnappers, you can insure the employees. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
That's what they do. I guess they insure the employees, but they don't send. Well, they don't send mercenaries out to get them. But what they do, it's half a step below. Well, it's a step below what you're doing. But basically, what an oil companies will do for some employees is if they're working in like Colombia, where it's high risk for kidnapping, they insure the employees and will pay the ransom to get the employees back. I mean, like I said, they don't send mercenaries out. You're like that whole step above.
Oh, that's cool though. That's cool. So there's some like real life kind of correlation there. That's pretty awesome. So what happens in our story is they go out, our team of extractors goes out on this mission, and the people that are sending a distress signal have gone beyond their insurance coverage limit. So the insurance company says, you can't go save them. Well, these people are being attacked by this alien race of zombie aliens, right? That are, and we call them the Vierdung. And they're just vicious, because if they don't eat you, you wind up turning into one. That's how they breed, basically. And so our team goes, we can't settle for that. We got to help these people, So that's what our team does, is they wind up pilfering the insurance company's resources to go save these poor underinsured people.
Cool. I'm looking at the art, and art looks a lot of fun.
Such a cool concept.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really neat. All right, I don't know if you can hear my fridge closing and opening in the background. Let's see. So so I'm looking at some of the black and white stuff you got posted on your Indiegogo, and it looks really cool. I really like the concept too. We could.
Thank you now.
Cool, thank you.
I dig the it's kind of like the Best of Liefeld kind of inspiration, among other things.
Yeah,
Would you
we're
say-
definitely going.
Yeah.
Definitely going for like a late '80s, '90s kind of feel for the look for the book.
Now, are you doing the art?
I am. I'm the artist.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I'm not quite as good with the story. The writer is usually good. He's usually better with the, being able to give the really good pitch on the story. But I could tell you about the characters and stuff, We've got the team leader. His name is Stratagem. He's the one who looks like he's straight out of G.I. Joe. He's got the ability to interface. He's got basically a kind of like a cybernetic implant on the back of his neck. It allows him to interface with any form of technology. And also it acts like a second brain, so he can store huge, massive amounts of information. Then we have our medical officer, that's Medica, that's the blonde, with the armored suit, half-armored suit, I would say, with the bare midriff. She's very crucial to the storyline because she's not just a medical officer, but she's probably the only chance of salvation for these people who are being attacked by the aliens. That without giving away too much. Then we have Jackal. He's the guy with the long black hair. He's our explosives expert, and he's kind of like a hipster, K-pop, like sassy kind of guy. He's the Joker of the group. He's very, he's got an ego. And then we have Cammy. She's the pilot. She's kind of like, kind of the naive one of the group. She just signed up for the team to go out and have fun in space with a bunch of mercenaries. She didn't really realize what she was getting in for. And then we have my favorite, which is, of course, our four-armed, four-eyed alien badass with the two cybernetic front arms that are connected to his system, so his brain can tell those arms to make any weapon that he wants or needs.
Cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
I wish I could draw tech like you. It's awesome. Like those gun arms are pretty epic. I love the special effect kind of stuff with the plasma charging kind of stuff you're doing with the inks.
Yeah, this. All right, here we go. Yeah, this is some cool stuff. Did you mute? What? No.
Yeah.
All right.
Looking
So
really
what?
good.
Yeah, this is. Let's see.
Just the awkward
It's
silence
cool.
there. It sounded like someone muted.
All right. Let's see. Oh, some good stuff. These are some of the beginning pages.
So how many pages is the comic?
It's going to be a 48-page book.
Nice.
We kind of have the tier structure set up like we have a basic book that you can get, for $15. Then we have a book and a poster tier. We have a poster that was done by Carlo Rowe, who's going to very soon be famously known for his Death Sworn series that he's doing.
He also did that bit for Superhero.
Yes, he did. He's
Cool.
awesome. He's very good. So you get the Carlo Rowe poster, the signed 48-page book, and if you're one of the first 100 backers at that tier, you get a 11 by 17 piece of original artwork. It's random characters. Some are Comicsgate characters. Some are mainstream characters. Some are other independent characters.
Nice.
In the chat, we got Joe Frago.
Joe Frago, all right.
Joe Frago. Make sure everybody goes checks him out, follows him. Joe Frago's a cool guy. He's a big fan of Oddity. And he can't stay for long, he says, but he just wanted to check out his two favorite artists.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, let's see. So you get the basic and the poster. You get the basics 15. Poster. Okay, so you get a special for international.
Yes, we do have a couple international tiers.
All right. Let's see. 2 basic copies worldwide, so that's going to be the same wherever it's at.
Yeah, that's our pair special. I'm actually not sure. I have to clarify with. I don't want to speak because I haven't looked at that one yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to clarify with Aaron what he's set up for that. But basically, you get 2 copies for. I think he said it at $25 or $20.
Yeah, that's what it says here.
25. Yeah. So I haven't actually checked out that tier yet, but we had some people asking, if it was possible to set up a tier where you could get multiple copies. So.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at doing for Oddity.
Yeah, I recommend that. I've set that up. It people jump in for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's a way to kind of beat the holiday season. I know people say people close their wallets or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You set up that double tier and you can somehow word it in such a way and make it where you encourage people to buy a copy for someone else, and that could be your holiday tier, your Christmas tier, or whatever. And they get like a little card that says, "Hey, you are now considered a backer to blah blah blah. Thank you, and thank your friend," and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's a way to work that out. Like if you back now, and the Christmas season rolls around, you back you would back the double book, and right now they would get like a card that they could send to a friend that said, "Hey, you're getting a copy, via so and so who backed. So, congratulations on being a backer of whatever book."
Yeah, actually, that's a great idea.
Yeah, the problem is you'd have to mail both copies to the one guy, and it would be his responsibility to get it to his friend, because otherwise shipping would be kind of a nightmare if a lot of people took advantage of it, because then you get double the addresses and only one address is on the thing. And so it's something I'd like to work out, but that's I think there's some stuff to work through with that.
Right.
One of your options is you could just set up a secret tier,
Mm-hmm.
and just through like MailChimp, just like through Indiegogo, just download the list of everyone who's backed the physical book,
Mm-hmm.
and then MailChimp out a link. I learned this from Brian Shearer. MailChimp out a link to just the people that backed the physical book and say, "Hey, you just bought one book. Would you like to buy a second? Like maybe for a reduced price sort of thing." And then here's a link to that. And here's the intent, like buy one for yourself and then one for Christmas for a friend or something. And that goes just out to them,
Mm-hmm.
So
Would they be able to send you their friend's address, or would you still have to mail it to them?
well, the way I set it up was you can I think it asks you when you set up the tier, does this require shipping or not? And I said no, because I was just a couple people had asked about doubling up and having them both sent to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But it asks you a second time, do you want to set up shipping again? So I think I guess you could download again, like at the end of the campaign, the list of everyone who bought that secret tier, and then you could just email them and get the second
Yeah, I mean, that'd
shipping
be
address.
a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit more work on your end. I can't
Yeah, an extra
unless
step.
it was like unless you sold a crazy amount, it wouldn't be too bad to do, right?
Yeah, it could be like a dozen people or something, but it'd probably be worth it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely worth looking into.
I'm gonna. Yeah,
Go ahead.
definitely. I'm gonna look into that myself. Yeah. One of the tiers that we have, right, is we have a tier that I call Your Zombie Death. So what that is people who buy that tier would provide me a photograph, and I would draw them as one of the victims in the book of the zombie attacks. So they would be chased, bitten, and eaten and turned by these zombies. The other thing that works in conjunction with that is if that person then wants to go and buy an original art tier on top of it, they can specifically request the page that they're on.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
I haven't seen anyone do that. That's a good idea.
All right.
It's kind of hidden to one person for a lot, but if that's if I would imagine if I was going to pay for myself to be in a comic book, I would love to have the original page of art that I was on it.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Also, we have the sketch cover tier because we are doing sketch covers. That's the $30 tier, and right now, if you're one of the first 100 backers at that tier, you get not only do you get the sketch cover, but you get to tell me what you want on the sketch cover.
That's
So
a
it's not
deal
just
for
random.
$30.
And also, you get an original 11 by 17 piece of artwork, and you can tell me what character you want for that. So it's like getting 2 commissions for $30. Plus, you get a book, a signed book, and a poster. It's really a good value.
You're giving away the store.
Yes, I am.
You know what? Just make them all this guy because that's what everybody's gonna want.
I know. I have been drawing extra switchbacks just in case.
I think that's a good idea because for some of us, we're like relative unknowns, and I think you kind of have to give a bit more away for it to be more of a sure bet for backers.
Yeah, because they're taking a little bit of a risk on you.
Yeah.
Let's see, $30 for the sketch cover. We've got that basic poster and original page. That's $100. Again, for an original page, that's not a bad deal.
And you're not taking any kind of a risk because this book, almost every single page is jam-packed with action and zombies and switchback. Not only does he have guns, but there's a scene. One page is a big scene where he's slicing a large zombie alien straight up the middle with a plasma chainsaw. So, I mean, there's tons and tons of fun stuff.
That you sold me a plasma chainsaw.
Yeah. Me too.
All right, so cover art. So, all right, so this looks really good. Guys, if you're in the chat, I know we got a bunch of people lurking. Check out this book. The links are in the description. And, check it out. It looks really cool. All right, so Matt, let's jump onto your book. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself first?
Yeah, my name's Matt C. And let's see, I went to undergrad art school and did illustration professionally for about 5 years or so. Got kind of burnt out doing it as a day job, so went back to school. But as I was doing that, I was kind of like, I'm not sick of illustration by any means. I'm kind of tired of, I guess, doing other people's projects. So I've been trying to collaborate and do comics for, a good number of years before that point, and everything kind of fell through. I never found the right, I'd find a good writer, but we weren't gelling well or this or that, and I was like, you know what? It's better to just like go it alone, try and put this together, and ask people to come in and get the comic when it's done, than to keep asking people to like come in and work on the project with me.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's, in my friend circle, it was like, you know what, these guys, I'll come back to y'all in a couple years with a comic and see if you like it. How about that? Because you're not going to be working on it with me. So I just I chipped away at this while I was back in school, worked on it for those 3 years, and then about a year more. And now I got 240 pages. It's about halfway. It's like a 4-book.
Wait, how long?
Yeah, it's the campaign's for 120 pages, 240. You get an extra second book for $1 more if we hit stretch goal. But it's at least 120 pages for $20. So
that's a good deal. Yeah.
Yeah, and the pages are done. So I've been working at this for like 5 years. So
I love the art style. It's kind of cartoony, but it's really neat. I really like it.
Those colors are amazing too.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, thanks,
really
man.
Tight. Really
it's
tight.
very like a not quite Asterix the Gaul, not quite that level, or as like cartoony, but it's really cool. I really like it.
I appreciate that. I grew up on European comics, so I'd say Asterix is probably a top tier inspiration there. So
I was gonna say that was kind of the vibe I was getting too.
Yeah, I wish I could draw sci-fi. That's always been like my main genre that I like pick up at the comic store, or watch TV or movies about. But I can't draw tech. So I was like, I can draw. Let me just drape cloth on everything. Yeah.
All right. So tell us about the book itself.
Yeah. So it's about a bunch of thieves and outlaws and escaped prisoners who have to stop a ancient Roman death cult from resurrecting Alexander the Great, like reanimating his corpse and unlocking the gates of Hades. And they kind of trek across North Africa in the 3rd century and bump up against a lot of frontier kind of Wild West types in their quest to stop this death cult. So it's a lot of fun. It's like Indiana Jones in ancient Rome. It's kind of how I'm pitching it. So it's like historical, supernatural adventure. I like to do research. Maybe I'm kind of lazy or just less creative, but I can figure out things that used to exist. And I like picking up books and saying like, okay, so this is how ships used to be or something. So I've tried to make everything, relative for a cartoony kind of all ages action adventure story. Like all this stuff could have happened in that time period, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like an alternative history of why certain things that did happen in history, why they did. Maybe there's like a secret reason behind it all, and like some crap like really went down and you don't know about it. So that's kind of what is going on in the story.
Your lettering is really kind of neat too. It's different.
Yeah, I might chip away and make it a little more legible, but I always kind of like the idea of colored speech bubbles, so you can always get a sense of like almost like the accent of the character. You can tell who's speaking, but you can also kind of tell like, oh, these people kind of come from the same region because they're all like within, they all got the blue speech bubbles.
Oh, okay, that's actually really really neat.
Yeah. It's it's one of the problems with comics. I mean, it's not really a problem. It's just like a challenge of like, how do you make sure people know who's speaking like off panel?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one way to do it. And also like, how do you keep like multiple speech bubbles from kind of blending together? Like maybe you just kind of you throw an accent on it in a way. So
yeah. Barry Windsor Smith did that a lot. Yeah. Love his work.
Well, I'm looking through. This is some good stuff. I really like this. I mean, there's a lot of art, guys. There's a lot of art on the page too. So that's a good selling point because you got a lot to pick from, I guess.
Yeah.
200 pages.
Yeah, I figured if it's done, you might as well.
See a bunch
You know,
of
it's like it's out of order, so you can't. You
yeah.
know, it's not gonna spoil anything, but you get a sense of the variation and all that.
Yeah, I love this kind of city thing, the castle.
Oh yeah, yeah. City of Alexandria.
Oh,
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you can definitely tell you did a lot of research, like in the visuals. Like everything looks and feels like it's from that time period. So I'm really super impressed.
Oh,
It's
thanks. That means a
awesome.
lot. Thanks, Vic.
all right, let's go over your tiers here. Let's see. You get the digital PDF, $10. Oh, actually, let's look real quick. Let's see. Your your goal's 4,500. You're up almost halfway there. So, yeah, we definitely want to get you. And I forgot to even check. I'll check extractors in a second. Let's see. So let's see.
We're both creeping along.
1981. I think that's when that song Kyrie came out.
You know what? That's a great. That's a
I
great
don't, I
point.
don't know if it actually came out in 81. I know it came out in the 80s.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Signed book for $20. And let's see. What's that come? Is it like come with another little sketch or what's that?
Yeah, like a
Like a head sketch?
you know those book plates? It's like a
Mhm.
sticker you slap. Yeah, I was gonna sign it and do a doodle, and
Oh.
just people can put it where they want it. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah, let's keep it separate.
Signed book and a drawing. That's pretty cool. 25. Jeez.
Yeah, just like a doodle on the front page.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do like me and Vic. I think we're on the same page. You gotta give people some extra value so that they feel comfortable coming in.
Just as long as you still got money going in your pocket.
Yeah, that's true.
Small retailer bundle. How many is that? 3?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Oh, you actually sold one. I know a lot of people do that, and maybe it's because they have like 10 books.
Yeah. I sold a couple more of those, and then I had to close down the tier because I talk about keeping money in your pocket. I forgot to add the shipping cost.
Oh,
So so basically eating those books,
oh.
but it's fine.
Yeah. Let's see. Now you get the 5 retail bundle.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So like one of those.
Signed
Another.
book, original art. More stuff. That's good stuff. I like that. Let's see. All right. So let's see. How much time we got left on this one? We got 15 days left. We got about 2 weeks, guys.
2 weeks.
Yeah, check this out. Check both of these guys out. And I want to get this. I mean, both of them, obviously. I want to make sure both of you guys get funded. They both look like good fun books. This one's a really cool all ages, and the other one's a really cool action adventure. Let's see where you're at. Make sure. All right, so you're about 10%, and you got 44 days left, but still, I mean, we want to get you. That's kind of a load off your shoulders. The sooner you can get that done, right?
Absolutely.
Even though you want to make more, I mean, it's once you get over that hump, it's like, phew, all right. Let's see who else is in the chat. Oh, we got a cold piece in the chat. How's it going, man? Let's see, Carl's Amateur Hour. Hey, Arch City Comics. Yep, back Extractors. All right. I don't know if Joe Froggo left. I think he's got work or something, but he says he wants a Frog and a Medica picture when he buys the book.
He's got it.
All right. Let's see. So let's see. We're getting ready. We're starting to ramp up now. We're going to start planning our tiers and stuff. What have you guys like? How far out did you start doing all your tiers and everything?
Well, for me, I'd say, I mean, it's like you're taking mental notes for, months, like watching all these like Comicsgate folks do it. And, but I think I think I was setting things up for at least a couple weeks, just kind of tinkering away and asking people's advice on live streams and stuff like that. And getting the pre-launch campaign kind of set up nicely. So and trying to like bring people into that. But
So your name, I know your name's not on it, Vic, but how much were you involved in setting up tiers and stuff like that?
It was like a committee effort, between me, Aaron, our letterer, Charlize Zombie. She helped us out. We had some help from our logo guy, Zero Fox. We had input. We put a bunch of stuff together, and we thought we were really kind of set, and we launched, and we found out in the first week, we wound up doing a lot of retooling, So basically we had it set, but the first week is kind of, from our experience, you spend the first week putting out fires and just making correcting little details that you forgot to put in.
Oh, we got Chris Evans in the chat. Hey, Chris is, ooh, excuse me. Chris is a big supporter of everybody.
Yeah, Chris is wonderful, man. That man supports everybody, literally.
yeah,
I'm gonna have to have you on the show, Chris. I think he's monitoring like everybody's campaigns.
that's a great idea. Yeah, Chris is the man.
All right, so you guys set up your tiers. Did you guys have any you were doing your book for 5 years, Matt? Something like that?
Yeah, buddy. But that's partly because it's just me, So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How long? You said you just came on a year ago, Vic?
Yeah, I just got back into drawing a year ago, and so probably like 7-8 months ago we started the whole Extractors thing. It was only a couple months of being on that Aaron got in touch with me. I was content just doing fan arts for everybody, to be honest. And then when I got this opportunity and gave me the script, I read it and I was like, "Oh, I'm sold. I want to do this. Now is the time for me to do this in my life."
That's cool. I basically came on to try to, because all I do is write, but I came on to try to network with some artists and stuff, and just kind of see how everything's going, kind of how everything works as far as putting a comic together. And I met Sweens just earlier this year, but I met another guy,
Wow.
Z Zombie 13, who's Paul Dozier, and he we hit it off real good. He wanted like a little 5-page script to practice doing sequentials. I was like, yeah, I can probably put something together for you. And I pulled a scene from another script and gave it to him. We developed it into a character that we want to do later on. Hopefully as soon as this thing goes. And I met Sweens earlier last year. I saw his Oddity, just popped up. I was like, wow, that's really cool. And I had him on. And basically the whole Oddity thing dropped in my lap.
Wow.
Because we went back. I mean, we hit it off pretty good. We did a couple of streams, and then he had an issue with his previous writer. The guy just wasn't interested in finishing the book or in really doing it. He wasn't really into it. So he just like one time after a stream, he was like, "Hey, are you interested in doing my book?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I'll do your book." I was like, "That." I mean, it's an awesome. It's already people already like the picture, already like the images. So it took me about 2 years of being on Twitter and talking to different artists and stuff too. And I really wanted to do my character, but I mean, even I had to figure out money and stuff like that. And I'm launching an Indiegogo, and this fell in my lap, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll pay you." I'm like, "Okay."
Isn't that awesome? Like
Yeah.
community in comics is like just unprecedented levels right now.
Yeah, the scene right now is so hot. It's like, and it's so exciting to be a part of. You get to talk and communicate and share information with all these different creators, and you get advice and you get tips, and it's wonderful because it allows you to grow as a creator, and this is a wonderful opportunity for not just for creators but for fans, because here you have like right now you have the mainstream, and they like just don't seem to have the love for the craft anymore. You know, most of them. But right now you have the indie scene that's blowing up, especially Comicsgate, right? And these are projects that people have either been building for years, like Matt, or people are just getting into it and creating something in the heat of the moment. Some of these projects are just popping up out of nowhere, but they're like so personal. There's love for the projects that are being made, so you're getting that person's best effort. You're getting that person's best product, and you can just tell just by talking to everybody. They want to be connected with their consumers, the people that want to buy their books. They want to be connected with them. They want to know, hey, if there's something that would appeal to you more, let us know. We'll do it. Which is what I love about the indie scene right now.
A big thing I've noticed is, and I'm sure they're in the mainstream too. There's some, but there's a lot of like kind of blue collar, like family man, family people. I don't want to say, I mean, there's definitely women in the community too, but there's definitely like strong family people in the community, and that helps when you're building the book because you have that kind of your own personal family bond, and then it kind of helps you when you're trying to interact with customers and stuff. You're a decent person. You know what I'm saying? You interact, and not just I don't know what you guys' situation is. I don't know who's married or whatever, but like me and Sweens, we're both married, good kids, and 9-to-5 jobs already. And there's no like crowdfunding for sandwiches or thinking people owe us money. You know what I mean? Nobody owes you anything. And when you kind of have that's I mean, on top of being good at your art, being good at your craft, there's also that idea that nobody owes me anything, so I'm going to have to work hard to make money doing this so that I can keep doing it.
Yeah. And it's so fun, like talking about the community thing in general, is that like there's always been indie comics around, and there's been crowdfunding for like Kickstarter's been around for like a decade, I think now, maybe more. But there's never been there's like a critical mass I think you need of people that really, and I guess like YouTube's been a big part of it, where there's enough people that can actually like these group live streams and stuff like this, where you actually get to learn about each other's work, like as you're producing or as you're consuming. You're buying something and then someone's suggesting, like you see this guy hang out with this other dude, and then you're like, wow, I really like his work, like let me check out his comic, like that sort of thing. I feel like every creator was their own island for a good period of time, and you could build up a community where you're like, I'm gonna make stuff just for them. Like, what do you guys want? But you're building from the ground up each time. You're reinventing the wheel each time because the community wasn't accessible, And now there's so many people that are excited about this at the same time that the community is there. And now we can talk as a group, and now we can throw stuff out. There's really a marketplace going. It's so exciting. So.
Yeah. I mean, from a fan, taking myself out of the creator role and put myself back in the fan role, just to watch all these shows and be able to hear the artists and the writers talk about their projects and their process and be able to see the work. Some of them draw on stream, and I'm just thinking, like, could you imagine if that was available to us? Well, I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm pretty old. But so if I could have seen George Perez on YouTube, doing the new Teen Titans, and Mark Wolfman talking about the writing of it, I would have just been like blown away. So I mean, fans have a really great opportunity now too.
Yeah, we're trying to make our campaign really interactive. Like we're behind the scenes. Sometimes Sweens will call. We'll do a hangouts, or we'll something like this, set it to private, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put a lot of that together. And I think I want to add that
Cool.
tier. Like when you get your digital, we'll have a digital tier, and not only do you get the book, you're going to get a file that has a lot of our little behind the scenes meetings and talking about, oh, what if we add this, or what if we do this, what if we're going to write this. So you'll get like a real, you'll get to really see, how, at least how we put the comic together.
That's a pretty good idea. I think in the past, like people would do that with Patreon or something, but that's a really cool idea to do it through Indiegogo.
Yeah, and we'll throw in, because I know he does on his channel, he does time lapse doing a page, so you can intersperse that, and maybe we'll just do an interview with each other, just about what we think of the book and that kind of stuff. So put together, it's almost like a documentary of how the book was put together on video. So we're considering all of that. That's and we've already done a couple of creative meetings. But I like the whole, as part of being a backer in the book, you're not just a customer. I like the idea that, all right, well, now you're kind of involved to an extent in the making of the book, and now they get to see, okay, this is what's going on, this is what I'm backing as it's happening, kind of real time.
See, I'm the kind of geek collector that, and I know there's a ton of us out there, that I would buy the physical copy, and then I will turn around and I'll buy the digital just so I can get that.
Yeah.
That behind the scenes stuff.
Now I'm not going to offer it with a regular book.
Uh-oh. Wait.
No, I don't know.
Everybody can blame me for that.
Yeah, well, what we might do is that could be just a different, like a whole nother tier, where you'll get the book, you'll get and you'll get the PDF, and then you'll get the file also as an extra.
Yeah, I mean that would be great, like a book and the digital with the extra commentary tier. And I don't know.
Oh, that's an idea too. Is just do that with the PDF. Do the PDF with creator commentary.
Yeah.
Do that as a whole video. I mean, because I don't got to worry about copyright strikes because it's my book or it's me.
Yeah.
But either way, oh man, that just jumped the idea up.
It's like a digital super pack kind of.
Yeah, I'm actually going to consider that now.
See that? So I ruined the day, and then I saved the day.
Yeah, well, you didn't ruin it. I mean, I would have liked it, but but yeah, we probably would have added that as just an extra tier anyway. But yeah, that's actually really good. I think we might consider doing that just straight page by page.
And you know what's cool is like I was saying before, like indie comics have been around since, like I think of like the 60s and people like Xeroxing stuff, but I'm sure it's been around for a lot longer than that. But like you couldn't ever watch people, like you always knew like these comics like rise or fall based on whether or not you come in and support it, but now you get to watch these things get made in real time. You get to watch people campaign it in real time. You get to see them discuss stuff with other people, other creators and fans in real time. Like that whole nother level, just, man, there's nothing like it. And it makes like, putting $20 down on a book feels cheap compared to the reward you get of being a part of that. That's been my experience, at least. So it's just cool, It's like you get to know these people.
Yeah. So, right, like one of the things that is that's always struck me about these books that kind of gets lost is that yes, you're getting a product, but you're not just purchasing a comic book. For most of these books, you're investing in that group of creators being able to put together and continue to bring you more product in the future. So which adds extreme value. So you're really really get to feel like you're part of that community of building that particular book. Like I'm part of the initial crew that helped this come into existence and stay in existence.
It really makes you feel like, you know, that book is yours, even not even just like because you made it, but as a customer, it's like, yeah, they feel like, you know, they really had their hands in it.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you did make it, you know,
Yeah.
like you made it, and yeah, you were there, like as it's being made. This is cool. Yeah, it's good times. It's like a Renaissance time.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. There seems to be kind of heart missing from mainstream comics. You look at some of the writing, and you look at, you know, some of the art. It's like, oh, we don't got to worry about it.
Yeah.
You know, oh, all right, we're putting it out, and oh, what's in the news today? Oh, well, that whole woke thing. Ugh. I mean, it just ruins everything. I really, I really hate that. Like, I had this conversation with my wife today because we're talking about, you know, how in comics, like all the girls immediately love each other, and my wife just kind of like looked at me and she was like, "No," it's just like that's not how it is. Like she's like, women are catty and they're really like she has best friends, but they're not. I mean, she goes, but we're not in competition for anything. You get two women together and they're not in competition, and they're, you know, they can be fine. But if they're competing over anything, boom, just forget about it.
I actually think like part of the problem I think was really the switch when Marvel and DC like really got bought out by parent companies.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that's the big. I don't see a lot of YouTubers really sticking their finger on this, and maybe they understand the industry better than I do, so maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, well, just like my impression is like once you get a parent company owning you, and that parent company is bought you in the first place, not for the comics, but for the IP to generate TV and movie content from you. Then your customer no longer is the comic shop. The customer is whoever you're trying to sell these IPs to. You know, you're trying to get stuff on ABC, or you're doing MCU stuff. Like if that's your new audience, so you can, screw the comic book readers. Like you just need to get enough visibility on this sort of stuff, and you got to get a track record of like, oh, this comic's been out for 3 years and it doesn't sell well, but people recognize it. Now it's time to kind of, let's get it on TV and make the big bucks. So
yeah. Well, and I think a lot of the problem with some of these artists and writers or whatever is they don't know where the paycheck comes from. They think,
yeah.
And once Disney buys them out, they think, oh, Disney's paying me. The customer's not paying me. So, they don't have to have any respect for the customer. They call them, fanboys or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's because they think their money, comes from CB Cebulski. That's where their money comes from. It doesn't come from the guy that bought their comic down the line. Yeah. There's all those steps in between.
Yeah. It's been like reversed in a way. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now they think, okay, it's Disney. Yeah, Disney owns it, so that's where my money. It doesn't come from the guy in the comic shop. It comes from Disney.
Disney doesn't care about comics.
Yeah,
No.
They didn't buy this stuff because they care about comics.
They don't. They don't. The characters they care about are the characters that have already been established, and make money, and they don't realize that comics are destroying these characters. Like they're ruining it for people. Like it's absolutely ridiculous at this point. And I'm just glad to see. I'm glad to see all these guys rising up and putting out, quality comics and awesome characters, fun storylines, and we'll build our own characters. I'm not worried about Marvel characters at this point or DC characters.
Yeah.
It sucks, but
well, the mainstream is cannibalizing themselves. That's what they're doing. Because there's only so long that can last, and then if you no longer have a comic book industry to draw your IPs from,
Yeah.
you know, because they're ruining everything, then what do you have left? I mean,
Yeah.
thank goodness there is this scene right here with us, you know,
Mhm.
the indie scene, you know.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen with that big company with Disney is, I mean, they're already starting. I don't know why they licensed it to IDW, but they start licensing their characters out. If they figure out a way where they can, you know, if they can do that, they're going to be like, well, what do we need all these Marvel offices in New York for? We already got the characters. All we have to do is license it out to someone else, and then they can get rid of those offices, and then, you know, all those people start losing jobs. Then who's going to pay them?
Yeah. Yeah. That's all. Yeah. That's just a ticking clock there. That's just a matter of time at this point, unfortunately. Sad.
Hey, Sweens, me and Vic were talking here just a couple of minutes ago about, you know, how we're talking about doing when you get the digital along with it, we'll have like a little thing where we do the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Instead of doing that, what we could do is we do a digital PDF of the book and then a second PDF where we straight up creator commentary, go through every page, and the
Yeah.
two of us talk about making the book and, you know, different things we did for the page.
Of course. No, that's that would be perfect. Like, why not?
And
We
that
can.
and I think that would be much easier to put together
Yeah.
in a logical way.
And do yeah, we could have it as a digital bundle, and you know, let people see into our whole creative process, and you know how we made it, and you know, we can throw in cut scenes of, you know, time lapse of the work being made and stuff like that, and have commentary over it, and you know, that would be perfect. I think, you know, it's kind of like the, you know, the editor's cut of a
Yeah,
Yeah.
DVD or something.
As a fan, right, I would absolutely love that. And I can just, let me just tell you, because I don't think I've had a chance to tell either of you. I mean, except for maybe on a couple of tweets, you know, encouraging tweets here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Oddity is looking so tight. It is so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, I appreciate that a lot. It was I hate this term, but passion project. Like, it's just it seems very trite and kind of.
But it's apt. It's
Yeah,
apt.
it is very apt, and that's exactly what I've been doing with it. Is you know, Dave just jumped on a few weeks ago, and before that, like, I had a loose storyline in my head of where this book was going and stuff, but I was just drawing. I was just making cool pictures and creating a story with the pictures. And I don't like when you guys were little kids and you'd look up at like a illustration or something, or like a Frazetta painting, and you didn't really know any backstory to it or anything, but then you created your own to it, and like that's what I used to do with pictures, even with comic books. Like, I wouldn't read comic books as a kid. I would look at the pictures and I'd kind of make up my own story to them, and that's what I really liked. So when I started this book, I just that's what I did. Like, I just started making pictures and made this loose storyline, and then when I asked Dave to come along and join in, uh, he asked me for a storyline, and I was like, "No, I want your storyline. Like, you're the writer now. Like, you look at these 20 or 17, 18 pages, and I was like, you write a story to those pages, and we'll take it from there." And
Nice.
yeah, it was a shot in the dark. I didn't know what I was going to get back, and he came back with an awesome story, awesome, just a skeleton of the storyline, and I was like, I was sold. I was like, let's do it, and that's where we are now. And yeah, so when I first started, I just wanted to make cool pictures, stuff that I liked, and hopefully other people did, and it seemed to catch on a little bit. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're getting traction, and I guess we're gonna be on. Well, hopefully, we'll be on the big show soon.
Yeah.
That oh my
There
god,
you go.
that totally like took me by surprise. I mean, we kind of knew, because Spoons has been talking a little bit back and forth with him, but we weren't 100% sure, and then
Yeah.
he just kind of blurts it out on his show.
Yeah, he did. I was super surprised by that. Like that was I sent him a super chat and I just said here's $5 to save the frogs. Like just being silly whatever, and he immediately recognized my name and called it out, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, we're going to do a jam piece." And I was just like,
That's so cool.
Are you serious? Like that it's actually like we're going to do it." And then I started getting all these DMs like, "You got to watch the chat." Like, I was like, "I was there. I sent him some money." Like, it was real cool and stuff. And hopefully it all pans out, and hopefully I don't shit the bed drawing next to him, because
Yeah.
that's a huge thing. It's like having Clapton say, "Why don't you come up on stage and play guitar with me, for a song and see where it goes?" Like it's intimidating, but
Oh,
at
you're
the
gonna do
same
great. You got
at the
the
same time,
chops for
like
it.
at the same time, it's like he wouldn't have offered that if he didn't think I could, you know, if he thought I was going to shit the bed. So it was very validating,
Right.
and you don't get that very often as an artist.
Yeah.
And I mean, you'll always get people that like your work sometimes, and that's good and stuff. But to have an actual professional, call you out and say this is what we're going to do, like it was humbling and very awesome at the same time. And I just hope to produce something that people like, and that's about it.
It's part of the beauty of the comics community right now. Like like you can really kind of jam like that, and you can discuss these things in real time, and people can
Yeah,
give you
for
a
sure.
shout out and confirm stuff on a live stream that 1,000 people are watching. Maybe
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
so cool.
yeah, it is. And now I'm familiar with both you guys, and you guys are pushing stuff, and it's I always appreciate the support that you guys throw my way, and I always try to reciprocate it and push everyone else's work out there. And that's the cool thing about this whole community, is just people pushing each other's work out, and the rising tides lift all boats. And I think eventually, I don't think there will be the big two at some point. I think it'll just
Mm,
be an independent industry where you just get independent minds creating their own properties and doing their own thing, because
yeah.
what's happened recently with comics is just ridiculous. And yeah.
I think you'll see basically what's growing as the indie scene right now. All of your favorite characters are going to wind up being licensed out to these indie creators at some point, and
Yeah.
those that even want to, I mean, there's so much energy about creating and so much joy about creating your own project, your own creation. Um, I think the mainstream is going to find a hard time when they've burned their bridges with consumers, and that's all that's left to them is farming their stuff out. They're
Mm.
going to have a hard time, I mean, like, yeah,
I mean,
Batman
come
will
on.
get picked up, Spider-Man, but
Oh, Spider-Man's already going to IDW. Like,
yeah,
granted, it is for the what I've heard. It's for the younger audiences, and IDW kind of specializes in that. But still, like, you just farmed out your biggest, like, blockbuster, like your biggest name, you're like, we're just going to give it off to IDW, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's for the better. I don't know. Probably not.
I think you'll really start seeing something when some of these other guys, these kind of big names, like I know Brett Booth said he right now he couldn't do it. He's like, oh, he was kind of against it. But I've seen some other guys kind of looking over, what's going on over there? How come they're making a bunch of money and I'm making crap and I work for the big two?
Yeah.
And I think some of them are kind of looking over, and it's only going to take one or two to just kind of step off that cliff and be like, all right, this is I think this will be where it's at.
Well,
when they do, and here's the thing, when they do, because there's going to be some, they work for the big two, and people are going to kind of hammer them a little bit. Oh, now you want to come over here with us? No, we can't have that attitude. We need to welcome them. We need to show them because they are influential and they're going to be influential in their own community. What I'd hate to see is a guy like a Brett Booth or like God, I can't think of the names, but like a guy like a Brett Booth or somebody, another big guy who steps off and puts their own book out. I want us to say, all right, that's cool. Let's talk to him. Let's bring him in. And even if he's not Comicsgate, at least be encouraging and help him make money, because then he's going to be like, oh, maybe they got something over here.
Dude,
he's going to tell his buddies. He's going to say, look, you know what? It's not such a bad deal on this end of the pool.
I think Brett's tempted. I really do. Like he's been given so much praise to Rob Willis, which he deserves. I mean, Rob's a phenomenal artist, and Brett's retweeted all of their work and stuff like that. And Edwin Boyette was going back and forth with Brett a little bit, and I do think Brett is tempted to venture the waters.
Who's the guy that did White Knight? Sean.
Sean Gordon Murphy.
I thought I heard he was
kind
of looking at it too. I thought I'd heard that he was thinking about doing the indie crowdfunding thing.
Well, he's not working. He's going to work on his own stuff that he writes.
Yeah.
So maybe that's another way of saying he's just going indie.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's doing like a White Knight too.
Yeah.
So maybe he's going to write and draw it, but it might be because he is friends with Doug. So it might be that he gets that temptation to come over and Doug will talk him into it.
How can you be not tempted after seeing the sales that Ethan produced and what no name artists are producing? Like, how can you not be tempted by that money? Or it is a job. At the end of the day, it is a job, and you should be making money off of it. And if you're living out of your van and you don't have health insurance, it's time to step it up a bit.
Well, look at is Monster MD, is that in the 40s yet?
I think so.
So I mean, how a guy like Sean Gordon Murphy, who everybody knows as a professional, could look at an Ethan project and then look at something like Monster MD. I mean, the artist has done stuff before, but I don't think he's ever worked for the big two. But I mean, you could look at both of those projects and say, well, that one was done by a nobody, and they're making $40,000, and then Ethan made $800,000. I could easily make in between that at least.
And look at Mike Miller. Mike Miller.
It's like in between. Let's talk about
over 100,000. And and there's artists out there, like I heard Dale Keown was thinking about doing bringing Pitt to
I would totally crowdfund a Pitt comic. I loved Pitt.
Yeah, and those are the people we would love. Who wouldn't love to have Dale Keown back drawing Pitt? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Oh man, you get Sam Keith in here. Oh, I'd be in heaven. You get a Sam Keith in crowdfunding.
No, I only see good things coming though, for real. I I think the model of the industry right now is going to eventually collapse. I mean, it is. We're watching it happen, and I think crowdfunding is the future for this. And I'm just grateful to be in it right now, and push something that people like. And I know you guys are doing the same thing, and we'll get there. Like, I've seen plenty of books succeed and make a lot more money than they would ever make. Well, they just wouldn't be made any other way. And no, we're getting there. It's slowly but surely.
Look at Donald DeLay, what he shared with everybody about his experience with Image.
Oh yeah.
He almost was in debt basically because of putting out a comic book.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Through an Image title.
and it's mostly because Image doesn't do not that I've seen that, at least not that aggressively. They don't do that much marketing. A lot of times, I don't know what's coming out from Image until it's on the shelf.
Like,
Yeah.
how are you going to produce something and go into debt? Like, I mean, it's kind of messed up. Like,
It's called overpromise and underdeliver.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it is.
And it's a real shame too, because I mean, you think about it, right? Like, there's two images for Image, right? There's the one from the '90s,
Yeah,
right?
that we
and
all
there's
love.
and there's the current one, and they're two entirely different, creatures.
Entities. Yeah, they're
Even when somebody says, you can even tell just by the inflection of the way somebody says Image, you can tell which version of Image they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's that I've mentioned this before, that the stamp on your book is like a mark of quality. Like it used to be, you saw the Marvel stamp on a book and you're like, oh, you knew what to expect. You knew to expect a good book that was, the world outside your window was their thing. And then when you saw the DC stamp, you knew you were going to see essentially godlike superheroes. I mean, that was the kind of the difference. And Image had that stamp, and you knew you were getting cool, exciting comics. That was their thing in the '90s when they first came out. You're getting the Max, you're getting Pit, you're getting, even Youngblood and all that. You're getting that kind of, you know what I mean, right in your face, big muscles, pouches everywhere. You're getting the whole deal,
Totally
right. Hot women, that's the thing. And now the Image stamp is worth the Pervert comic. That comic got it. I think that was Image, right?
forgot about that. Yeah.
I think that one was Image. But when you're putting a book like that out and you're putting your stamp on it, that's your quality stamp, and people look at that and then they look at Image, and that stamp is worth less because that book is on your roster.
Yeah.
Totally.
I love what Cal did with their book, and he called it lowercase comics. I'm so tempted to ask him to just, plop that on ours and be like, let's just start something here now. Like,
Yeah.
Ethan loved it too. He thought it was funny because it's a nod. It's definitely a nod to him, and but no, it's actually a really well designed logo. Like, I was checking it out, and it's sweet. And there's not, you especially in indie comics where you don't always have professional graphic designers helping you out or anything like that. That one stood out. Lowercase Comics was sweet. Even though it's,
I haven't seen that. Did he just put that on?
No, he put it on. He put it on a while ago, but
I don't think I've seen it.
It's sweet though. It's
no, it sounds awesome. I totally got it right away as soon as you said it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a complete nod to, all caps, and but it like taking a knee, like
Yeah.
you know, showing some respect and stuff like that, and it's cool. And I mean, it really like with indies, it doesn't. I mean, what does it really mean?
Hmm.
Like, you know, it's
I would say over time, having lower in your name might not work out.
yeah. I mean,
I mean, it's a funny little nod. It is cool.
yeah, definitely. But no, I actually like the design of it, and you know, just the whole nod to Ethan and stuff was kind of funny, and it's something that only we would get. Like other people would see it and be like, what does this mean? But everyone within the community would have a smirk about it at least.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the other thing too, right? Like, not all of our projects are going to wind up on EVS's show, and so not all of us are going to benefit from having exposure on that platform. But all of us have benefited from what EVS has done in the
Oh yeah,
community. Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
100%.
It's a great point.
But you know what? When we get, when we get the invite, and anybody who gets the invite, that's putting eyes on your project. It's also putting eyes on your social media. So as other members of the community, what we can do is say, yeah, our book is cool. Thanks for checking us out. Check out these books too, because that, I
no,
mean,
for sure,
again, that's the rising tide.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all those eyes that were on that have been moved over to us are now moved over to other creators because they're looking at us. So now we're we can pass it down.
That's a great point. That's an
And
excellent.
look, in my book, like people who have supported me, like their Twitter handles are just thrown out throughout the book. And I'm still open to like throw in like there's one scene where my dude has comic books scattered all over his floor, and there's no reason I shouldn't have other people's comics like photoshopped in there. Like, it's little
That's a
nods.
fun idea.
Yeah, it's they're just Easter eggs for everyone within this community. And I have no clue where my book's going to end. Like I have no idea where it may go. And I'm not going to predict anything. I'm just going to sit there and keep making a book that I think is awesome, and that I think hopefully other people think is awesome. And the guys that have tagged me and stuff, like I put all their names within the book, and I'll be damned if there's not a page at the end of the book thanking people for their support, and putting their names out there, putting their projects out there. Like, we're all in this shit fest together, and hopefully it raises everyone up, and we make some money. And I'm not saying enough money to live off of or anything like that, but something worth your project. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're putting time into your project and you're putting a lot of effort and dedication and passion, like there's no reason you shouldn't be making some money off of it. And I think we can all do that. I like early Comicsgate, I saw a few projects where I was like, this is a cash grab. They like some of these guys are just
They're not
they're
ready
in
for prime
it.
time.
Yeah. And I think we all know those books, but as it's gone on, I've only seen more quality, like more quality art, more quality storylines people are producing, and there's no reason people shouldn't be making money off of this. And I'm all for pushing other people's books. Every time I see a book out there on Twitter, I push it. Like I push it out there. Like I want other people to see it. I want other people to enjoy it, and you know, and I I recognize both your guys' names, and I appreciate everything you guys have done for me. And if you want
Yeah,
an
buddy.
Easter egg or anything in the book, you just let me know, and you got it. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
I think
you
I
know.
saw you. I think it was like less than a week ago. It might have been Chris Evans. Someone. I hope it's Chris Evans because I just said his
Yeah,
name.
Chris.
But yeah, you dropped his Twitter handle, I think, in a page or something, and he was flipping out, and that's so cool to see.
Oh no, yeah,
What a fantastic idea!
Chris. Chris
Speaking of
is.
Chris Evans,
He's
speaking of
like.
Chris Evans, we got him in the chat, and he says, "I think I'd rather see more of what indie folk come up with than see them work on the mainstream work. I'm interested in seeing what happens with Oddity and see Sweens do Spider-Man."
Yeah, yeah,
No, Chris has been a supporter since freaking day one. Really, like he's always been right there helping me out. And, he's throwing out a lot of tags and stuff for me, and yeah. So when people do stuff like that, I reciprocate, and I I let them know that I appreciate it, and then they put into the book. Like that's how I work. Like that's my thank you to them, and
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, we got the community has been like super supportive. It's been awesome. Everybody, Edwin, the Ace, he's been really cool. I mean, everybody. It's all. I mean, right now it's all Sweens right now because nobody's seen what I've written. They've just seen, that character really pops
No,
off the page.
that's a good point.
It's not though because you've been promoting and you've been pushing the book out there and you've been talking about it, and so it's you too. Like when you guys last night were like, "Oh, congratulations on what Ethan said and all that stuff," I was like, "No, it's awesome and stuff, but it's also for you. Like it's it's all of our success, and hopefully it all works out, but it's not just me. Like it's our project now.
Mm-hmm.
This is our thing. It's not just me. I do the artwork and all that, but it's now our project.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited about it. I've no, especially, oh my god, when I started seeing stuff in DMs about, hey, Ethan's pushing Oddity, I'm like, what? So I went to the chat, I went to the the live stream, and I backed it up, and I heard it, and everybody that was in the room, my wife and my kids that were in the room, like their faces just dropped when they heard him mention it. It was like, oh my god.
Yeah, well, no, it was super cool, like it was, but I'm not going to count the chickens,
Yeah.
Like, it's
Sure.
it's still up in the air, and we'll see where it goes, and hopefully it goes well, and if it doesn't, that just means there's things to work on, and push harder, and make better stuff, and you can't take it personally. It's just people's views on things, and,
Yeah, you just got to make the best of the opportunities that are given to you.
exactly. Yeah.
I think the only thing our project needs is more eyes, because I mean everything else is there. The quality's there, the art's there, everything's there. We just need more people to look at it.
Yeah.
And it's just like anything else. And that's one of the big benefits of this crowdfunding thing, as opposed to just trying to take a loan out of the bank and print it and do it yourself. Like back in the day, the Ninja Turtles, when their first book was 3,000 copies, and they did the book, and I think they had I want to say a rich uncle. It was somebody that they knew that saw the book and gave them a bunch of money. But I mean, distribution and all that stuff, that's what's really good about crowdfunding and marketing, is that now you've got your book out there in one spot where everybody can go look at it, and anybody who's on there just looking for comic books, hope maybe you're in trending, maybe you're not, but maybe your book just shows up, and that's something that. And plus, you add social media onto that, you add YouTube onto that, you add all that, and it's such an opportunity for people that before might not have had that opportunity to get people to look at what you're doing.
Yeah, totally. And it's exciting because, like, what Sween was saying earlier about, an optimistic outlook on the end of 2019 and 2020, where there's going to be creators coming in, like maybe hat in hand, coming down the path like we've helped forge,
Yeah.
and saying like, okay, I got an idea. I've worked at Marvel for 20 years and I want to pitch you a comic and it's going to be creator owned and I want to put it on Indiegogo. Like, what do y'all think of this? And yeah, I love the idea. Like, that's going to be our chance to, kind of welcome them home, I guess, to the new era, this Wild West.
Yeah. No, so Vic, did you guys? I came in late. A little later on the stream. Did you guys talk about your project, like what you guys are producing right now?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to shut down soon. Why don't we go over your projects again real quick, and then
Sure.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We'll put up the Extractors. There we go. So tell us about your book again, real quick.
All right. The Extractors is a high action team book. If you like comic books, like the X-Men, that kind of team dynamic, with the visuals of, I'd say, like Green Lantern Corps. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of aliens. There's a lot of really cool imagery. Every page is action packed. It's 48 pages long, and we're definitely dedicated to bring you the very best of what we feel that we're trying to bring you is like an 80s TV action mixed with the best of 70s sci-fi horror, like Alien. So definitely give it a shot. Check it out. We got tiers for every level. Even if you want to get involved in the book, we got a tier for that.
Very awesome.
I forgot to do my screen share.
So
didn't do a screen.
Do the Extractors, do they like abduct people and stuff like that?
Do they what?
Or do they like abduct people and stuff like that?
No. Okay. Yeah, you weren't here for that. Part of the explanation. So, in the future, people go out into space, right? People are starting to go out into space, mixing it up with alien races, trading, doing different cargo shipping, things like that. It's a very dangerous place out in space. So insurance companies are making a lot of money insuring these voyages out into space. And so your claims adjuster for these insurance policies are actually paramilitary groups, like units. Wow. And they're called extractor units.
Very cool.
So you wind up in trouble. You send a signal out. The insurance company sends out one of these groups of extractors to pull you out of whatever horrible situation you're in.
Very cool. That's very original. Like, that's a solid idea. Yeah, I completely missed the first part of this, so I wasn't hip to what you guys were producing storyline wise. But no, that threw me for a loop. Like, it intrigues me, and I think I would read about it. Now I know I'd read about it. Like, that's
our book is 48 pages of a zombie attack, an alien zombie attack. So very intriguing, very exciting, very, very violent. This is not one for the little kids, but it's definitely one for everybody else.
Awesome. And who's your artist on it? Let's get.
I'm the artist, actually.
Oh, are you? So,
Yes.
are you?
Aaron
And-
Calamari is the writer,
Okay.
and Shalise Zombie is the letterer,
Cool.
and she's kind of our group coordinator. She keeps us in line.
Nice.
She's wonderful.
Very
And then
cool.
we have Praetorian. He's doing the colors, and we have Zero Fox, who's done our logo work.
What a cool
And
name.
Yeah, right.
Like
I
that's a
love that
cool
name.
name. Like,
The
His
whole
parents
team
really
got
thought
great
ahead.
names except for me and Aaron. You know.
no, it sounds very awesome, guys, and we'll plug it as much as we can and push it out there for people to see, and I'm excited for it.
Thank you.
Dave gave me a little bit of briefing on it a few weeks ago, and it sounded awesome. Let's
hear Matt's book, Kyrie, which is presumably based on the Mr. Mr. song.
You got it, buddy. Actually, it's based on the Celtics point guard. No, but anyway, yeah. Yeah, Kyrie, it's like a action adventure sword and sandal comic set in it's kind of like Indiana Jones and Ancient Rome. It's kind of how I talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a band of thieves and outlaws trying to track down what a secret Roman death cult is up to, and stop them from reanimating the corpse of Alexander the Great before they can do that and open up the gates of Hades in time. So it's kind of what they're doing.
Cool.
It's like Wild West in Africa in ancient Roman times. So
very awesome, guys.
And it's cool. The art, I mentioned it before. It's very definitely puts you in that Asterix, the Gaul vibe.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. No, guys, but every time I see you guys' work online, I will, we'll push it out there and,
cool,
hopefully
thanks.
make something happen. And I appreciate, all the support, and I'll support you guys back. And
yeah, they'll be reciprocated for sure.
Goes, man. Of course. No, I love this stuff.
And
Very
we're
awesome.
so grateful to you guys for having us on tonight, man. This has been such a good time.
Yeah.
It was very, very awesome meeting Matt and getting to see his work that I hadn't been familiar with before. I'm actually going to put my my family on to your book. They're going to love it, man.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, and I'm really digging your comic. I'm gonna be supporting it before things are said and done, for sure.
Yeah, we should. I think we'll have it out. I think we'll have it out pretty well, relatively soon.
Yeah,
we got to put it together, but I think it's. I think definitely sooner than we expected.
Yeah, things are looking good, and looking good. And that's as far as you can say. But
just keep pounding the pavement. Yeah.
Last word in the chat. We got Chris Evans, who says, "Everyone has these cool online names, and here I am using my real one, and everyone thinking I'm Captain America."
Kino Subway. Kino Subway. That's a great name. Chris Evans.
Nice. Chris is the best, man.
Chris is a great guy. I've talked to him quite a bit online, and he's a solid person.
Yeah, he's a champ.
Yeah, always pushing for other people. Very awesome.
All right, guys. Thanks for showing up. I'm going to have to close it up here for the night. It was a great conversation. These are good books, guys. Whoever's lurking in the chat, you need to check out Kyrie, and you need to check out Extractors. They're both really cool-looking books. And keep an eye out for Oddity when it comes out.
Definitely, guys. All right. It was great talking to you guys, for real.
Yeah, it was a good time. Thanks, you all, for coming. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ding the little bell. And enough of that, and we'll get some money in here for this channel, too. But I got a while to go for that. All right, y'all take it easy.
Good night.
All right, yeah. See ya. Thanks.